Welcome to Biz Friend Talk with Ndzavi Derrick. Today we're just going to look at a very interesting topic about franchising. How do you buy the franchise? Because a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people have access to cash. Some they were retrenched by they thinking of which business to start, and they end up buying the wrong kind of franchises, and after 2 or 3 years the money's gone and the franchise is gone. But we just want to look at 8 ways to tell if franchise is not good enough before you can invest. How do you tell if you're buying the right kind of a franchise? And how do you tell if this franchise is not good enough for you? So we're just going to look at that to say which ones, how do you know that this is a bad deal, I don't have to go for it? Number one, we just have to look at franchise should belong to an association. If it's not belonging to any association or it's not a member of any association, you have to be very careful with that. There are a lot of franchises that they are being sold, and you'll find that when you check online or you check them in their association within their countries, they are non-existent. Now the problem is, if you feel that you've been robbed, who do you report to? Who do you speak to? If you feel like, oh, you know what, my money's gone, or they are not servicing you the way they promised, who do you report to? However, we need to quantify it to say, yes, there are some franchises that may not be registered because they are not compliant yet with the regulations, but they can be good, that you can look at. But you need to find out what's the reason why the franchise that you're looking for is not registered with any association yet. And some, they will tell you, oh, we are still in the process. Fair enough. So don't just reject it or think, oh, it's not because it's not compliant, it may not be good. It may be good. But what is the main important thing is to look for the franchise that belongs to an association. Number 2, the franchise is not communicative or concealed information. Then you must know that something is wrong with this franchise. Yes, there are some processes or legalities that they may not disclose to you, but there are basic information that you need to get, that you need to know beforehand. And this information is something that will help you make the right decision in terms of whether do I buy this franchise or do I not go for it? Because you need to understand that for you to make a personal decision on buying the franchise, you need to get exclusive information that will make you comfortable with that franchise. The next point is, which is number 3, the franchise puts pressure on you to buy in. Once the franchise puts pressure on you to buy, you need to know that something might not be right. Because if it's the right franchise, legitimate franchise, honest franchise, and franchise that also follow ethics, you will not be pressured to buy. You would not be called after 2 weeks to say, hey, we have a discount or we have special deal on this. So you need to be very cautious. If you're put under pressure, you need to question the legitimacy of that franchise. You need to question whether you're buying something that will make sense or something that would last longer. Number 4, if the franchisor guarantees immediate success, return, and profit. Look, this is business. And in business, there is an allowance for growth. There's a time where you have to grow your business. So you cannot be promised that, oh, you buy today, believe you me, you're going to get 100% return or 300% return on your investment without showing you that, you know what, there are challenges, these are the disadvantages you may face. You may face slow customer response in your area, but all that you're promised is that, no, this one, from the day one, you're going to be successful. You have to be careful with that. Yes, if you put enough effort and energy in any business, returns are very good. So it should be that it's going to be good business, but at the same time, your effort and your contribution will play a role in making the business grow. Because some people, when they are promised this, that it's going to be 100% guaranteed profit, They tend to think that I don't have to go to the shop, I don't have to do anything because I've been promised that I'll make a lot of money. Number 5, if the existing franchisees do not match the presentation, you have to be very careful. Yes, presentation can be kept very nicely, it can be very beautiful, get very good, but you need to check the existing businesses to say, are they matching what you've been presented? Are they happy? Are they, do they give good testimony about the franchise? And some of them, you don't have to even ask them. You just walk into those franchises. I remember I had an incident where somebody wanted to buy a franchise. They came to me as a business advisor and said, please assist me. Can we get more information from this? And I contacted the franchisor and say, guys, we need information of who are the other franchisees that you have in the country. They said that is confidential. I mean, really? Confidential when I have to know who are the other people who bought from you? And they said, no, it's confidential. So that made us not make decision to go ahead with a franchise. Because you can't tell me that when you already have your business out there, you should be proud and say, please go and see so-and-so at Corner Street. Then you will see how they are doing and they are our happy customers. But if you can't share that information, I need to be very careful. Number 6, the franchise fee is not in line with what is being offered. You can tell if the value that you're paying for is worth what you're buying. You don't have to just go through any, mathematical calculations. You can tell this thing is worth so much. You can't get a small thing and at a price of maybe $1 million and you say, oh, I'm happy about it. There is no extra services, there is nothing, there is no machinery that you're offered. But you just offer a program. You need to be very careful what you buy. In as much as it's promised a good return, you need to measure, is this worth investing? Is this the money that you can compare other existing businesses that are within that space. Then you can tell if you're paying what is worth. I mean, I'll give an example. You would find that somebody sells you a restaurant and at the value more than either McDonald's or KFC or whatever. You have to ask yourself, is this business more popular or well-known than these competitors that I'm going to face? So these are the things that you have to deal with. Number 7, the franchisor doesn't offer ongoing support. If you're not getting ongoing support in your franchise, you have to be very careful, because there are trainings that have to go into it, management that has to go into it. You need to understand the formula, how things are done. Your staff must be trained, and if you don't get that, you need to be very cautious. So these are the things that you have to look for to know if this is true or this is false. So for you to tell if this is true, there must be that ongoing support in place. But if it's not there, you have to ask, am I buying the right thing here? And lastly, be careful of the new companies that sell franchises. If that company is still new and they promise you a franchise, you have to ask yourself, when did they accumulate enough experience? When did they master their business model to can franchise it? When did they come up with a formula that they can say, you know what, this thing is working for us? So you have to be very careful. If the business is still new, the business must have grounds and the business must have some credit. The business must prove that it's been in the business for some time so that it can be able to sell a franchise, because they have created a model that they can duplicate and replicate in other areas. And you need to see one shop that serves as a good example for that. So if it's business, it's still new, you have to be very careful. Don't rush for it. Wait until you know that you can get a reference and you can get a good buy for your money. Thank you very much for watching. That is Biz Frank Talk with Ndzavi. Till next time.